It's hard to imagine today, but the sleepy hamlet of Lyon Mountain, New York, in its heyday, was a melting pot for thousands of immigrants from around the world who came to the North Country to work the mines. Our Jack LaDuke tells us about a museum that's preserving a history as rich as the iron ore, mined from deep inside the Adirondack Mountains.
There is no question that life at the turn of the century in this mining town was as hard as the rock the men dug from the earth. At its peak during the early 20th century, this mountain town boasted a population of more than 3,000 people. Today, it's more like 300. It was the second largest community in the Adirondacks, next to Saranac Lake. As the country grew, so too did the need for steel. America was rapidly expanding. Steel was its underpinnings. The miners here blasted out iron ore around the clock to meet the incoming orders. One reason for the big demand was the deep underground, high-grade iron ore found here.
Probably the best in the world, or in the United States anyways. Swedish ore, we understand, was the best. This was next to it because there was less impurities in it. High quality strength was used for the Brooklyn Bridge.
Today, the 1903 closed railroad station houses a museum that preserves the old mining days that built the town and served the nation.
In the late 1800s, they knew they had a gold mine and that, or an iron mine, and they decided to start recruiting people from Ellis Island, because they needed a lot of workers. So they would go down and get them in. So the town ended up in the late 1800s being full of immigrants from all over the world. So the Lennys made sure that they created an atmosphere of community by building an auditorium and creating a baseball field so these men could get together and learn not to fight so much for their culture, but to work together as a community.
The Lennys ran the mine and devised other ways to bring the feuding nationalities together.
It was really a rough town in the beginning because of all the people not being able to speak the languages, and the town had its areas, like the street is called Sweden because the Swedish people were here. There's Polak Hill, which, Polish people had homes, but there was Italian section, and there was Irish. There was from all over the world they came, and they wanted to keep their own traditions, and it was quite a battlefield for a while and lawless.
The miners worked a 10 or 12-hour day or longer, drilling iron ore thousands of feet below the ground in dimly lit mines. Pay was about $2 a day, but work was steady and living cheap. This is a cutout section of a mine where a miner like this would work all day with a drill like this weighing about 75 pounds. He would drill holes in the surface of the rock where dynamite would be placed in it later and exploded, and down would come the iron ore. In the 1940s, the unions came in and made working healthier by eliminating the dust of dry mining. The dust seeped into the lungs, causing serious breathing illnesses. A stream of water was now sprayed on the iron ore, holding down dangerous dust. But with the arrival of World War II, product demand increased rapidly.
They ran 3 shifts during World War II because they needed the ore for the war. And it was running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
When the war ended, so too did many of the mining jobs. The real tragedy struck Lyon Mountain in 1967. After nearly a century of mining, it closed down. With no other work in the area, Margot Kurowski said that Lyon Mountain went from boomtown in the late 1800s to the dying town it is today. But memories here, as rich as the iron ore once chiseled from the rocks, can be seen, touched, and appreciated at this museum. For Mountain Lake Journal, I'm Jack LaDuke in Lyon Mountain.